So even though the inflation data brought some encouraging news to the market is still concerned about the tariffs that President Trump is going to impose on April 2nd. The Fed statement that was released this week showed that the Fed officials are sharing the same concerns over tariffs and their impact on the economy. Officials now see the economy accelerating at just 1.7% this year. That's down by 0.4 percentage point from the last GDP projection in December. The Fed kept the interest rates steady as they will wait and see the effect of tariffs on the economy, but they still see another half percentage point of rate cuts in 2025, which means 2 quarter-point rate cuts this year. President Trump spoke with reporters in the Oval Office and took several questions about tariffs. He was asked whether he will offer any exemption. He said many people and companies are coming to him and ask him for that. He also referenced the exemption that he gave to the 4 American car companies 2 weeks ago. He basically delayed the tariffs for these companies for a month, but he did not change his mind on the reciprocal tariffs. And he said the word flexibility is a big word. He also said that we've been ripped off by other countries, and we want the cars to be made in the US, as this will help create jobs. Let's listen to President Trump making comments on that.
Anything that they can do to stop April 2nd or to roll back the tariffs that you put on China already?
Well, we can talk, but basically, I call April 2nd. I would have made it April 1st, but I didn't want to be April Fool's Day because then nobody would believe what I said, and they do believe me. April 2nd is going to be Liberation Day for America. We've been ripped off by every country in the world, friend and foe. We've been ripped off on trade. We've been ripped off on military. We protect people, and they don't do anything for us. It's just so unfair for years and years. And now some of that money is going to be coming back to us in the form of tariffs. Tens of billions. It's going to be numbers like nobody's ever seen. So NVIDIA announced today, you saw that, hundreds of billions of dollars of investment. The biggest chip maker in the world announced hundreds of billions of dollars of investment. Hundreds of billions, not millions, but billions. They're all coming here. Apple just announced $500 billion worth. They're going to build plants here. You know, they built their plants in China. They're going to build them here. And they're starting immediately. We have investment, the likes of which this country has never seen, already announced. And they all want to have news conferences. I don't have enough time to have that many news conferences, but I would say so far at least $4 trillion. $4 trillion is coming in. Car companies, very importantly, a lot of the car companies that were going to build in Mexico or Canada are now building here. Because I don't want cars from Canada. I don't want cars from Mexico. They want to do it, it's fine, but I want the car companies to build here, not, they were building in Mexico 3 plants, big plants, really big plants, and they were going to sell the cars right across the border. We wouldn't have the jobs, we wouldn't have the profits, we wouldn't get the taxes, we get nothing. All we get is unemployment and empty factories. Those days are over. So now those 3 places are going to build here, but many more than that. We have a big one. Honda is building, just announced a really big plant in Indiana, great state, smart place to build. And we have many car companies coming here.
This have come to you asking for exemptions on tariffs. Is that something that is under consideration by you?
Well, people are coming to me and talking about tariffs, and a lot of people are asking me if they could have exceptions. And once you do that for one, you have to do that for all. So, generally, I did something interestingly during 2 weeks ago. I gave the American car companies a break, because it would have been unfair if I didn't. And everybody said, oh, he changed his mind on tariffs. I didn't change my mind. I helped our, sort of big 3, big 4. I helped some of the American companies. And instead of taking it properly, they said, oh, he changed it. I don't change. But the word flexibility is an important word. Sometimes there's flexibility, so there'll be flexibility. But basically, it's reciprocal, so that if China is charging us 50% or 30% or 20%, and I don't mean China, I mean anybody, any country, Canada. Nobody knows that Canada is charging our dairy farmers. They have 270% tariffs. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. They have up to 400%. They have a couple of tariffs at 400%. Nobody knows that. Nobody talks about that. And remember, with Canada, we don't need their cars, we don't need their lumber, we don't need their energy, we don't need anything from Canada, and yet it costs us $200 billion a year in subsidy to keep Canada afloat.